Some footballers entertained us, some inspired us, but only a few enchanted us. And among them, one man stood above the rest, Zinedine Zidane, a player who moved like poetry, who turned football into fine art, and who carried both grace and fury in every touch of the ball. From the rough concrete of La Castellane to the grand lights of Paris, Turin, and Madrid, Zidane's journey wasn't just about trophies. It was about elegance, dignity, and defiance. A World Cup hero, a Champions League icon, a manager who conquered Europe 3 times in a row, something no one before him ever did. This is not just a story about football. This is the story of a man who didn't just play the game, he painted it. So sit back, subscribe, and get ready, because today we revisit the rise, the glory, and the unforgettable legacy of Zinedine Zidane, the maestro. Chapter 1. La Castellane, the beginning. Zinedine Zidane was born on June 23, 1972, in Marseille, France. But his story really begins in La Castellane, a tough, concrete maze of apartment blocks in the northern districts of the city. His parents, Smail and Malika, were Algerian immigrants from Kabylie. They had moved to France chasing a better life. Smail worked long nights as a warehouseman and a night watchman, while Malika stayed home, raising 5 children. Zinedine was the youngest. Life in La Castellane was harsh. Poverty, unemployment, and violence were constant shadows. But one thing shone bright: football. Every square, every street corner, every patch of open concrete became a pitch. And young Zidane was always there, ball at his feet, hours on end, honing skills most kids could only dream of. Even as a shy, quiet boy, Zidane moved differently. There was a calm elegance in the way he touched the ball, a composed intelligence in the way he navigated space, and a first touch that seemed to defy physics, sticking to his foot as if it were glued. By age 10, he joined U.S. Saint-Henri, then A.S. Foresta, and soon caught the eye of Jean Varot, a scout for Cannes. Varot saw the potential that even Zidane's parents didn't fully grasp. At just 14, Zinedine moved to Cannes to join their youth academy, leaving home to chase a dream bigger than his neighborhood had ever seen. At Cannes, Zidane's talent blossomed. Close control, quick turns, and that legendary Marseille roulette became his signature. By 1989, at 17 years old, he made his professional debut for Cannes. The journey from the concrete courts of La Castellane to professional football had officially begun. Chapter 2. The Rise. Cannes to Bordeaux to Juventus. Zidane spent 4 seasons at Cannes, gradually proving that he wasn't just talented, he was something rare, something special. His touches were delicate yet decisive, his vision beyond his years. Europe started noticing, but the world hadn't yet seen the full maestro. In 1992, Zidane made the move to Bordeaux, a bigger stage, a higher pressure, a chance to shine. And shine he did. Over 4 seasons, he transformed from a promising talent into one of France's most electrifying players. He played primarily as an attacking midfielder, orchestrating the game with unmatched grace. Every pass, every dribble, every subtle shift of weight seemed calculated yet effortless. The Marseille turn, the roulettes, the perfectly timed balls, all became trademarks of a player who seemed to bend time on the pitch. The 1996 UEFA Cup marked a turning point. Bordeaux reached the final, eventually losing to Bayern Munich, But Zidane's performances were impossible to ignore. Europe was watching. That summer, Juventus came calling. The transfer fee? 3.5 million euros, a bargain for a player who would soon dominate Serie A. In Turin, Zidane joined legends: Alessandro Del Piero, Didier Deschamps, Edgar Davids, and more. Under Marcello Lippi, Juventus was a powerhouse. Zidane's impact was immediate. In his first season, 1996-97, Juventus reached the Champions League final, though they fell to Borussia Dortmund. But in Serie A, Juventus thrived, and Zidane was central. Over 5 seasons, he won 2 Serie A titles, reached another Champions League final, and was twice named Serie A Foreign Footballer of the Year. Zidane's elegance wasn't just about beauty. It was about control, intelligence, and timing. He could glide past defenders, pick out passes no one else saw, and score when it mattered most. Every game was a lesson in football artistry. And then came 1998, the summer that would change everything. Chapter 3, 1998, the World Cup hero. The 1998 World Cup came to France, and the nation held its breath. The pressure was immense. France had never lifted the trophy, and expectations rested on the shoulders of one man, Zinedine Zidane. Zidane had made his France debut in 1994, but by 1998 he was the team's heartbeat. Under coach Aimé Jacquet, the squad blended experience and talent. Fabien Barthez in goal, Laurent Blanc and Marcel Desailly anchoring defense, Didier Deschamps leading midfield, and attackers like Thierry Henry and David Trezeguet. Yet Zidane was the linchpin, the calm in every storm. The tournament began with drama. In France's second group match against Saudi Arabia, Zidane received a red card for a stamp, a shocking moment that left him sidelined for 2 crucial matches. France survived the knockout stages without their star, navigating tense victories and holding their nerve. Zidane returned for the semi-final against Croatia. France won 2-1, and the team prepared for a historic final on home soil at the Stade de France. The opponent? Brazil, the defending champions, boasting Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Roberto Carlos. And Zidane rose to the occasion. In the 27th minute, he leapt to meet a corner and powered a header past goalkeeper Claudio Taffarel. 1-0 to France. Just before halftime, another corner, another Zidane header. 2-0. France's third, a stoppage-time strike from Emmanuel Petit, sealed a 3-0 victory. France were world champions. Zidane had delivered not just skill, but legendary moments etched into football history. The image of Zidane, shirtless, tears streaming, embraced by teammates, projected on the Arc de Triomphe, became iconic. He was no longer just a player. He was a national hero, a symbol of grace under pressure. Later that year, Zidane was awarded the Ballon d'Or, cementing his place as the best player in the world. Chapter 4, Real Madrid, the Galáctico Era. After conquering the world with France, Zidane continued his brilliance at Juventus, but the next chapter would take him even higher. In 2001, Real Madrid came calling, and when the world's biggest club calls, few can say no. The transfer fee? 77.5 million euros, a world record at the time. Zidane was joining Florentino Perez's Galácticos, a team built with the planet's brightest stars. Luis Figo had arrived the year before, and now Zidane was added to the mix. The pressure was immense. Could he justify the fee? Could he handle the expectations at Europe's most scrutinized club? Zidane answered the question in style and brilliance. In the 2002 Champions League final at Hampden Park, Real Madrid faced Bayer Leverkusen. The score was tied 1-1. Then came a moment that would define Zidane's legacy. He had won everything possible at club and international level, and decided to end his professional career after the 2006 World Cup, leaving the world on the edge of anticipation. Chapter 5. The 2006 World Cup in Germany was never meant to be a fairy tale. France were seen as past their peak. Zidane was 34, one step from retirement. Many believed his magic was fading. They were wrong. As the tournament progressed, Zidane didn't just play well, he rose from legend to myth. Every match he grew stronger, every touch more precise. It was as if he knew the end was near, and refused to leave quietly. In the round of 16 against Spain, Zidane scored a stunning late goal, gliding past defenders like it was 1998 all over again. Against Brazil in the quarter-finals, he produced one of the greatest performances of his career. The reigning champions, Ronaldinho, Kaká, Ronaldo, were humbled. Zidane ran the game like a maestro conducting an orchestra. Every pass, every feint, every pause, perfection. Then came Portugal in the semi-final. France were through. The impossible was becoming reality. The World Cup final. France versus Italy. Zidane's final match, his last dance. In the 7th minute, he stepped up for a penalty, and instead of blasting it, he Panenka chipped it off the crossbar and in. Cold, audacious, vintage Zidane. But destiny had one final twist. In the 110th minute, after an exchange of words with Marco Materazzi, Zidane turned and headbutted him in the chest. The stadium froze. Silence. Shock. The referee produced a red card. Zidane walked past the World Cup trophy, head down, disappearing into the tunnel, his final steps as a footballer. France went on to lose on penalties. The hero had fallen. Or had he? Despite the red card, Zidane was still awarded the Golden Ball, best player of the tournament, because even with controversy, his brilliance was undeniable. It was not the ending fans expected, but perhaps it was the only ending worthy of Zidane, a man of grace, but also fire, a genius, but also human. Chapter 6. The Manager. After retiring, Zidane disappeared from the spotlight. No noise, no drama, just silence. But behind the scenes, he was learning, observing, preparing. Real Madrid appointed him as an assistant coach under Carlo Ancelotti in 2013. There, he helped guide the club to La Decima, their 10th Champions League title. The hunger was still there. In 2016, with Real Madrid struggling under Rafa Benitez, the club made a bold decision. They handed Zidane the manager's job, his first major head coaching role. Critics doubted him. They said he was too quiet, too inexperienced, just a legend living off his name. They were wrong. Within 5 months, Zidane led Madrid to the Champions League trophy, but that was only the beginning. Under his calm leadership, Real Madrid became unbeatable in Europe. No overcomplicated tactics, no ego battles, just trust, discipline, and respect. From 2016 to 2018, Zidane achieved the impossible. 3 Champions League. From 2016 to 2018, Zidane achieved the impossible. 3 Champions League titles in a row. something no manager in history had ever done.